welcome back. Part 2 of the Hbcu Superlative List series. Part 2 of 4. 2 more videos to go, right? I'm gonna put that picture up to let you know that what we got coming next, right? It's gonna be defense and it's gonna be best of the rest. But this video right here is about offense. And some of these guys, it's gonna be obvious. Most of them, though, are not gonna be. In fact, there's gonna be a name in here that you probably don't even know about that I'm gonna be happy to tell you about. Even though I made a video on them, but sometimes y'all don't pay attention how y'all should. Now, before I get started, I don't even feel like I should have to say this, but I do. So in the first video of the series, it's great that you guys came to me and said, hey, I disagree with this. I would rather Grambling be here, or I would rather Jackson State be here. That's cool. I love that. I'm all for that interaction. I'm all for y'all telling me y'all's opinions. However, we are adults. Act like an adult. Do not come in my comment section being disrespectful. Do not come in my comment section talking all wild. Because number one, either you are going to get that same smoke back. Number two, or you're gonna get blocked. Somebody got blocked yesterday. And sometimes, man, I'm really just not for that energy. Like I'm not even a negative person, so I hate when that's brought out of me. But a lot of y'all just get wild. So listen, let's have a good time. All right, let's enjoy the video. Please let me know what you think. Let me know who you would have put in these positions that I'm about to name. And let's keep the thing rolling. Offensive Player of the Year is the first superlative on the offensive section. And of course, I'm going to have to choose Shedeur Sanders, aka Grown. 3,000 passing yards, 30 touchdowns and 8 interceptions, an 11-2 record, your true freshman year, right? You led your team to a national championship. You didn't play so hot as the season started to wind down, but overall, you had a sensational year filled with a lot of great plays that are going to be talked about for a very long time. And you're also now recognized as one of the top quarterbacks in the FCS, not just the SWAC, not just HBCU, in the FCS. That is high praise. You also won the Top Freshman of the Year award. That says a lot about you and where you're projecting to go, right? We're expecting to see you take the next step, especially with these weapons and this offense that is now tailored around you. So Shedeur Sanders is my pick for Player of the Year, Offensive Player of the Year. I am projecting him to go for over 4,000 yards, right? That is an expectation, in at least 35 to 40 touchdowns. That's where I want to see him at, because I believe he has the ability as well as the weapons to do so, but time will tell. But Offensive Player of the Year, Shedeur Sanders, that's my pick. Next up, Mr. Box Office. This superlative goes to a guy who is just so exciting to watch, somebody that you absolutely have to tune in for, that you just cannot miss, right? You have to see it in real time. You don't want to see the highlight on social media the next day. And that is Mr. Andrew Body. Duh. It was going to be nobody else. I'm going to be honest with you. Andrew Body and Shedeur Sanders are the 2 best quarterbacks in the SWAC conference. That's a given, right? But with Andrew Body, he's box office. Andrew Body is a lot more box office than Shedeur is. And that's not a diss to Shedeur, obviously, but he's exciting to watch. I've seen this man play against Baylor. I've seen him play against Rice. 2 FBS teams. And he held his own. He made plays. All he ever does is make plays. That is a guy who needs the ball in his hands. Good things, he's a quarterback, but you need to have him with the ball in his hands every single play, making something happen. And he's currently in an offense that is designed to fit his skills the best. And man, I honestly cannot wait to see those 2 go head to head again this year. Even though I'm pretty sure that week I'll be at a South Carolina State game, but I can't wait to hear about it, check the highlights out and everything like that. Nah, Andrew Body is that guy. He's box office, he's exciting. There's not much more I can say on him. This we know already. Those 2 were a gimme, right? Now let's get into it a little bit more. Next up, we got Tony Toe Tap. Now, when I talk about Tony Toe Tap, what that means is that's going to a receiver who can just make acrobatic catches. A guy who can really just contort his body any way he needs to make that catch, right? Who doesn't need a lot of room in the end zone to keep his feet in bounds and make the play. or by the sideline. He always just makes spectacular catches in traffic. And that goes to Jarish Hosley of Delaware State. Jarish is that guy. This is a guy who came from the Division II level. And the only reason why he came from the Division II level is because that school that he was playing for, the football program shut down. He ended up at Delaware State by getting offered there. And now he's balling. No, Jarish is Tony Toe Tap. I made a video on him, and it's called Meet the Most Underrated Receiver in HBCU Football. When you go check that video out, because I encourage you to do so, you will see why I think that. His story is amazing. He's an amazing person, right? And that kid has an unbelievable skill. Man, Jarish Hosley, Tony Toe Tap. There's a few guys who I would have loved to put in this position as well, but Jarish deservedly he deserves the spot. So Jarish, hey, my dog, congratulations. You are definitely Mr. Tony Toe Tap for this upcoming season. Now, next up, we got Baby Moss, Baby Randy Moss. Y'all heard the saying plenty of times growing up, right? How many times have you mossed somebody or even gotten mossed? It's a common saying in football. And who is that going to? Nobody other than Shaquan Davis, a.k.a. Baby Megatron. So he's already that. But we gonna add Baby Moss as well. Why? 6'5" frame, that tremendous wingspan, his jumping ability. Let's see, people don't even know about the jumping ability. Shaquan Davis can play basketball. He can. In fact, he played for State a little bit. He can play basketball. He has bunnies, right? So when you add those three things together, with the fact that he's able to get downfield in a hurry for his size, you have a completely unstoppable force on your receiving core for South Carolina State, man. He's Baby Moss. He's done it time and time again. I've seen him make catches over multiple defenders who were covering him. You know, I've seen him, we've all seen him dominate in the Celebration Bowl. I've tried to tell you about Shaquan Davis, but nobody wants to listen. That's it. Baby Mars, Shaquan Davis. Shout out to the home team. Now, the last superlative on this list for the offensive section and for part two. To the departments. This is a guy who, when he gets that ball, he's gone. He's one touch. All he needs is just the slightest bit of daylight, and he's gone. Now, when I came up with this, I was like, man, so much people in HBCU deserves this superlative. So I got two. One traditionally on offense, the other one is on special teams. I'm pretty sure you know who I'm going with for special teams, right? But let's start with offense first. With offense, you got Mr. Maurice Washington, now at Grambling State University. Man, Maurice is just a guy who is immensely talented. He is a guy who Nebraska fans were very excited about. They loved his every move, and they recorded his every move at Nebraska. Now, of course, you know, we know what happened with that, and we know what happened with Washington. You know, it took some time. Now he's got in the transfer portal. Now he's at Grambling. Even with that time he spent away from football, I expect him to knock that rust off in a hurry, come out the gate swinging, and be an unstoppable force. That is a guy who I wish Jackson State would have picked up. But, you know, he's with Grambling, he's with Hugh Jackson. And honestly, I don't hate that move. So we know when he steps on the field, if you give that man the slightest bit of daylight, he's gone. He can catch that in the backfield, he can take it to the house. He can run up the middle, he can take it to the house. If he bounces to the outside, Lord help your defense, because he's going to be hard to stop. Maurice Washington is Mr. Take It to the Departments. And last but most certainly not least, for the special teams version, Isaiah Bowden. He's the best returner in the FCS. No doubt about it. The stats prove it too. I'm not the only one who feels like this. Jackson State fans are not the only one who feels like this. He's not the only one who feels like that. He's the best returner in the FCS. As a matter of fact, the two guys who are ranked number 2 and number 3 played more games than Isaiah Bowden, and yet Isaiah still had more yards than them and a bigger average than they did. Isaiah, we all know the kick return he had in the SWAC championship, but man, he's been doing it. He's been doing it since the spring. Since the spring. That 4.2 speed that he has is on display. And it will be on display this upcoming season, which is now less than a month away. He's fully healthy, so he's probably going to be even faster because that kick return in the SWAC championship, he had an injury. So this is part 2 of the HBCU superlative list. I'm not going to tell y'all when I'm going to drop part 3. I'm going to just drop it, you know, and I hope y'all rock with it. Part 3, we're going to go defense. I'm going to put that picture up so y'all can see exactly what superlatives we're going to talk about. And then, you know, we're going to end it with part 4, the last of the series for the preseason anyway. And then we'll revisit this after the Celebration Bowl and we'll go over it again because this list will change. Remember what I said, man. Keep it real respectful in the comment section. Y'all know how that goes. Some people just get way too offended when their school is not everything. And don't say that's just Jackson State fans. That's a lot of y'all. But hey, man, I appreciate y'all watching this video. Thank you for watching. I'm your host, Hbcu. I'm out.